Casey, this man, when you surround, I mean, honestly, you don't even need to see him. You can just be in like a like a mile, maybe a quarter mile radius. Immediately your serotonin levels, all the good stuff that makes you happy.
See, I think you're
Spikes,
describing
dude.
yourself and the experience of meeting Mitch, man.
No,
Frickin'
stop.
Mitch, the world is a lot better because you're in it, my brother.
My friend,
I can't disagree with that.
That's
dude,
I'm telling you.
First of all, thank you.
I've got a long list of real good reasons for all the things I've done. And regret is just a memory written on my brow. And there's nothing I can do about it now.
So the thing that I love about you, Manti, you guys just finished a 4-hour segment
Live.
of your show.
Yeah.
Live show.
Yeah.
You've been here, you've been up doing producer meetings and stuff since probably 3 or 3:30
in the morning. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And you still feel like you have 2 days worth of energy in you. Is that something you've always had?
I got 2 days worth of energy for good people.
Yeah.
So when I see Mitch Morse walking around, and this is honest truth, Mitch, when I see, are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, hallelujah. Let's go. When I see good people going, bro, there's no length that I wouldn't go for good people that make this world a better place. And I mean that with all sincerity. So yeah, am I tired? Yeah, I'm tired. You know how it is this week. But an opportunity to be here with you guys, man, I wouldn't trade it for anything, even some sleep.
Well, hey, dude, the fun thing to see, because you've been full-time for over a year now.
Yeah.
Good Morning Football. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
You were meant for it. It's fun to see
No doubt.
the maturation just even in 1 year.
Yep.
You've always been comfortable on set. You've always been a killer, but it seems like you own it right now.
Yep.
You're in this flow state. Tell us about getting your chops in this business.
Well, you know this, Mitch. It's whenever you are blessed to come in a locker room as a player, and if I am a quarterback and I come into a locker room and Matt Stafford is my teammate, and having the ability by osmosis to learn from one of the best, that's how I feel when I'm at Good Morning Football. You know, for me to come into work every single day and I sit next to Kyle Brandt, and I sit next to Jamie Erdahl, and I literally ask every single question. And I ask the hard ones too. And I say, hey, how can I get better? What can I do to get better? And I always credit Kyle Brandt for what he did for me in the pre-kickoff show with NBC that we did before the home opener in Philly, Eagles versus Cowboys. We did this pre-show the night before, and I did what every former player does on their first show. I started getting real statty. You know, I was like, well, I think the Cowboys are going to be great because, if you look at it, they throw for this and luckily for me, that was just our rehearsal. Right when that rehearsal was finished, Kyle walked over to me, told me to take my headphones off, pulled me on the side. He's like, bro, I don't ever want to hear another stat out of your mouth. He was like, I want to hear what you know.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Manti knows because I can hire anybody out here to give me a stat.
Right.
I want somebody that can tell me what it means, and you have that. From then on, Mitch, it's been, I was going right, now I'm going left. You know, and that's really helped me develop into what I am today.
Well, is it one of those things, so you're more on than off, right? But everyone's got these days where you're just in the dumps.
Yep.
Whether it's just life's happening at home or you didn't, we were talking about pillows earlier, like you got a crink in your neck. Yeah. And as a player, you kind of have to find a way, you have these either mental cues or these actions that you take physically to get yourself in the right place.
Yeah.
Do you have a reset if things are going south for you, or if you feel like you're a little bit off your game?
I have a reminder. So there was a good amount of time where I had been separated from the game, and there are a lot of prayers that went up to the good Lord himself of, man, what is the purpose of my life? What's the meaning to my life? Like, do something with me.
Yeah.
Make something of me. And on those days where I get 4 hours of sleep because we got to be up for a 3:30 production call, and I get home at 10 in the morning and I'm drained and my kids are running up to me and I'm trying to balance the dad life, I always remember you prayed for this.
Yeah.
So stop complaining for the blessings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think so many times we sit back and, in a current state of discomfort, and we're like, man, help me out. Like make sense of all of this discomfort and this pain. And then when the blessing comes, when the good Lord pours some blessings on you, you're like, man, this also makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for me, I always have to remind myself, Mitch, like, man, you prayed for this. Now you have it. and you're complaining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so whenever I feel that way, bro, I always try to remind myself of that. And then when I kiss my wife and my 2 babies goodbye in the morning at 3:20, and I see them laying in bed as I do this for you guys. So
Yeah.
it's always remembering the why behind what I do. And that's all the caffeine I need.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing is, first of all, that was a fantastic answer. Your why is so important to every person's why is so important. It's all different. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in this life, just from osmosis or myself, is the biggest decision that can be a deterrent or it can be an absolute blessing is your support at home. And it seems like you have a superstar with
man.
your wife and 2 kiddos. You share on socials a bit. Seems like you guys have great chemistry.
Yeah.
Everyone seems it must be in the family, everyone's smiling and sharing a good time. Like, tell us about your support system with your wife at home. And is it kind of that work-life balance?
Yeah. So
How's that going?
You mentioned what it looks like. There are those times where those smiles aren't smiles.
Yeah.
There's those times where we go like this, but it's when we go like this that it's the most important, right? And so me and my wife have communication. I think that's the main thing. I don't go into the situation assuming that she feels a certain way about some. Yes, that is my job hard. Yes. Is it a challenge? Yes. But I'm at a Super Bowl. I'm with human beings. I'm with adults. My wife's in a house with 2 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yes, do I provide for the family? Yeah. But my wife is also the one making sacrifices on her own. So there are when we are at odds with each other, I think that is that's the most important time. So when people see the smiles, they understand like, hey, we built to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It isn't sunshine and rainbows, but the reason why I married that woman is because I can walk through hell with her and it'll be worth it. You know what I mean?
No
And so
doubt.
with my wife, it's she is just as capable or even more capable of doing what she does. She's her own business owner. She owns her own med spa. Yet her career is put on the side because her true passion, and that's being a mother. And I couldn't do what I do without the things that she does. And we're a great team, and that's the way that God intended it to be. And I'm so blessed to have that.
Well, life's a beautiful dance, and it seems like you're dancing the hell out of it, my friend.
Sometimes we step on toes.
Yeah, but that's part of the dance,
That's
dude.
part of
You
the
know what I mean?
dance.
Okay, so we were talking off air, and you were talking about the 4-hour show you guys just did, and that there was this moment in there where the chemistry was just palpable. You
Yep.
guys, bobbed and weaved,
Yeah.
threw punches. It was talk about a beautiful dance,
Yeah.
right? That has to stick with you a little bit. And I'm sure there's 1 or 2 instances this year where you just feel like, man, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is there one in the back of your mind from this past year, whether it was a segment, a time, or place that just stands out to you as just like, that was poetry?
Man, when
When
you,
Mitch Morse was on.
yeah, I
Nope,
mean,
nope.
honestly, I haven't been blessed with the opportunity to work with Mitch on the show yet. So that's why I'm so excited for the opportunity to hopefully work with him
Totally.
on Good Morning Football, because Mitch brings so much insight and the vocabulary, bro. You and Kyle have this level of vocabulary that I envy, because the ability to describe 5 words with one is truly an art. And you have that, and so does Kyle.
I appreciate that.
But if I could go back to a time where I was just flowing, would have to be when I did the Lamar MVP prediction. And I try to find creative ways to articulate a thought.
Yeah.
And I took the number 8, and I took a Chinese cultural reference of the number 8, and the word ba in the Chinese language, which means 8, and the number 8 and what it means in Chinese culture, and how it's the luckiest number. The Olympics in Beijing was 8. It happened August 8th, 2008. And I started,
right now.
Yeah.
I started to go and flow, and talking about Lamar Jackson, he is number 8. This is also his 8th year in the NFL. The Super Bowl is on February 8th. And so I'm start stacking stuff up, Mitch, right? And that's when I felt like I was flowing. And, you get to those moments of like, man, I'm in the zone, but it's also appreciating those moments when I'm not.
True.
And it's just like, I'm not in the zone today. I'm not going to have one of those takes that really resonate, but that's okay. We'll go tomorrow. And it's the same thing as life. Like, you're not going to be clicking on all cylinders in life. You're not going to wake up like, heck yeah, I'm ready for today. But those days where you're like, oh, I don't know, but yet you still answer the bell. I think those are the biggest wins, is when you answer the bell when you don't want to.
What
yeah.
what kind of what I want to know is when Mitch was on Good Morning Football, which by the way, best show ever.
Thank you.
You have an amazing crew. Jamie has been on the show. I wish we could chug a beer with you like we did with Jamie, but it's 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
When Mitch was on the show, do we have any embarrassing moments backstage that made Mitch a little nervous before going on?
So Manti kind of said we actually haven't been blessed to work in person.
Yeah,
I thought you guys.
Oh, that's right.
So
You
he
were.
was on. He was
Yeah.
remote.
I will tell you a
My
story.
bad, my bad.
No, you don't. It's a
No,
great.
you're good,
because
brother.
It actually prompts one of the learning moments in this business. You have a few of them, right? I'm on air doing the thing. I'm just kind of speaking of vernacular and vocabulary. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and it goes to commercial break, and I get a text from the production crew that just says, "To whom it may concern." And there's no one else in this group. It's a group message with just me. Words that we do not use on this show. I had banged out about half of them in 20 minutes. And so, I mean, that was a super humbling experience, but it also is one of those things like I can sit here and my fall word can be, my thought word. So when we were doing the podcast, I found myself, we're editing it, and I said, fuck 20 times.
Yeah.
But that was just my mental cop out from not actually articulating or thinking.
Yeah.
So it was a great learning experience in regards to like, hey, how about you just take your time?
Yeah.
It always is going slower than you think. Just take your time, articulate, and don't just go on the cop out words.
Yeah.
That was the most embarrassing moment.
But I think though, Mitch, what really separates our show is when Mitch did do that, we made a whole segment about it. You know what I mean? We took it and we're like, let's make this thing fun.
Yeah.
Let's see how many words we can say. Let's see how many words we could flirt with and not say the actual word that we can't say, but find another. So that's the beauty of Good Morning Football. It's just like you take what somebody may deem as a mistake and we don't see it as one. We see it as a way to like, oh, let's get creative.
Yeah.
Let's find a flaw in Manti's game and figure out how can we make that fun?
Yeah.
How can we make the viewer like look at what I say as maybe a little embarrassing and may look at it as a positive thing?
You take negatives, turn them all into positives.
And we start rolling, you know what I mean? And so that's what, again, I love what I do, but more importantly, I love who I do it with.
I will say this, watching the show as just an outsider, and we watch all, McAfee behind you, whatever, all these shit. But like your show in general, the three of you, it's just, you could see on television, it's not a fake relationship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you guys are like you're Jamie's neighbor, basically, but it comes off like that in the show that you're like brother, sister, brother with, and it's like, that's what makes your show amazing over all the others, because you could tell there's tension in the room on some shows and things like that, but it's never like that on Good Morning Football.
And that was my number one goal. When I first got interviewed for the job, and this was before I got the permanent seat, I told our executives for the show, I said, hey, they said, what can you bring to the show? That was the question. What can you bring to the show? I was like, well, I'll tell you this. I come from a Polynesian background, and family is a huge part of the Polynesian culture. So I'll tell you what I can bring. What's up, brother? I'll tell you what I can bring to the show and what I will bring. I will bring a family element to this show because I had the same approach as a leader on the football field. It doesn't matter what play call you call, bro. Coach, you could tell us to run the same coverage all game long. It is how we execute it and how we execute it for each other that's going to win us this game. And that's been my belief ever since I was in Pop Warner. It's not about the play call. It's how we play the play call. And if there is a love and a sacrifice for the people beside you, we're going to be great. And so I've adopted that and taken that to every stop that I've made. And Good Morning Football has been no different. Jamie Erdahl was obviously the first. We live like... Bro, I swear me, my wife, and our two kids, her husband Sam, and her three daughters, like we are like the bunch. You know what I mean? And then being able to connect with Kyle, and now he addresses me as Uso or Us, and I address him the same way. And to see our relationship kind of grow that way, I love it because, to your point, my number one goal was when you watch our show, you see genuine love and care for each other on there. And I think that's what really resonates.
100%. And it's, you see it, you could feel it. And that's why it's honestly, to me, like, it looks like you guys just have so much fucking fun.
That's it.
Like,
well, you have the gift about y'all's show the privilege I think that you feel is that you are the tone setting standard for the day.
Yep.
We are the first to bless the stratosphere, whatever you want to call it, the radio waves, the frequencies, with, of course, the news.
Yep.
But also just the general vibe for the day. And I'm trying to think, to close out, speaking of vernacular, words that would aptly describe Manti Te'o, but the one thing that comes out is he's profound.
Thank you, brother.
He's a profound husband, a charismatic personality, but genuine. And in any facet of life, that's the thing that matters the most. God bless you for
You
sitting
too,
here, my
brother.
friend. I can't wait to continue to see you do your thing and hopefully put my paws on you in person here one of these days on the set.
You're
my
the
friend.
best, Mitch. Love you, brother.
That's Manti Te'o. God bless you, brother.
And there's nothing I can do about